Okay, this video is for Cheryl. She's one of my longtime clients. When I used to work in the salon back in the day as an esthetician, I would do makeup, facials, waxing, and she's followed me since on social media, and she was asking for some help with her aging eyes. She's saying that she doesn't have as much of her lower lid that she used to. About the crease area is starting to hinder her from getting into that area. So I'm going to teach a technique. I call this the Neopolitan Ice Cream eyeshadow technique, and I'll explain it in a second. But let's start with how to select eyeshadows. Number one, I'll do an actual demonstration for you, knowing that I obviously am not suffering with this, but having put makeup on people for years, I know exactly how to help you guys. So let's start with eyeshadow selection. First of all, let's think Neapolitan ice cream, vanilla, strawberry, chocolate, and I'm going to say it very specific in that order. So vanilla, we're talking about our lighter colors that you highlight with to bring something forward. We've got our strawberry, okay, that helps sort of bring color into the look, to warm it up, like whether you use a bronzer or blush. We're bronzing and blushing our eyes, but we're just using eyeshadows. And then our chocolates, that helps pull things back and recede and contour. Now, remember, vanilla does not mean it has to be white or shimmery or anything of that nature. It just needs to be the lightest shade in the combination. And this can be, it's got to be at least 3 eyeshadows, but it can be 4 eyeshadows. You can have a shimmer. If you like shimmer, you don't have to abandon that. So let's talk, if we sort of let's look at it this way. I have my palette set up like lighter to darker. So if you like really love this shade, that can be your vanilla, because your strawberry can be, let's go on this side. Your strawberry can totally be a darker shade, and then your chocolate can obviously be anything like this or any of these like bottom shades. Now, let's talk shimmer really quick, and then we're going to move on to the actual demonstration. When it comes to shimmers, as you get older, and because we're just, you know what, not older, texture, aging. So that doesn't necessarily mean it's tied to a number. It could already be your eye shape. There could already be something that you feel like texture shown. You got to stay away from these lighter ones. You need a richer shimmer that's closer to your actual skin tone, but it doesn't have to be skin tone. It can still be a color, but it's just gonna be deeper. So like more medium to dark rather than light to medium. So you wanna really get into this darkness. So let me grab a couple colors, and then we're gonna come back for a demo. Okay, I'm going to teach you the traditional way so you can kind of get the idea of having light, medium, and dark. Now these are all mattes. So again, you could just do the 3 and all matte, or you could do this one. This could be a shimmer. Definitely keep this matte, the like crease color, okay? This could be a shimmer, this could be a matte, but this could be a little bit darker. But I'm gonna do the 3 and then show you how to incorporate that richer shimmer. First, I want you to just look straight ahead at yourself in a mirror, and I want you to identify where your natural shadows are right now without manipulating your face. So for me, I have a shadow right here. I have one right here. And if you have to turn a little, it's fine. Don't turn too much, but then right here. So if I were to shadow in all of these places, it would make my eye look exactly the same as it does now. I would just be enhancing it with different colors, okay? But let's see where it's just naturally popping up and lighter. It's a little lighter here. It's definitely lighter here, but it's a little darker there. Do you see how these areas are brighter than here, because it starts to sort of slope down and then it pops back out? So if I want this to pop out, I need to lighten this. So let's start with that. We're gonna use Cupcake. If you're like darker than me, this is gonna be too light on you. So you just need to find something a little bit darker, but still make it your vanilla. Let's lighten this up right here. Let's make this pop, okay? So don't be afraid also to take a magnifying mirror and hold it down so that you can see where you're working. All right, so see how we just filled this in and we brought it up to that natural shadow? Look Look, we have no shadow there anymore. Look how bright and beautiful this is. If you have a hooded eye, it's going to be much easier to work on the inside, closer to the nose, but still up in this like contour area, like where the nose meets the eye. So keeping it more like triangular right here. Perfect. Now let's add some color into this. Let's get some strawberry. So I used Cupcake with the pointy end, and I'm going to go to the fluffy and go into Claire. And notice how all of these shades are actually pretty warm. So if you really want to contour, you can try a cooler shade, as long as that like works for your coloring, of course. And everyone has a cool shade that works for their coloring. All right, so I want this to still open up. I don't want this to be totally shadow just because it's naturally shadow, but I do want to get some color. And so this is just going to be like you're doing a normal transition. So you can get this all over the lid. Again, if you're really hooded, grab a mirror, bring it. I wish you could see how far down. Yeah, like all the way down. Look down. You'll see all your natural shadows. And then if you need to, you can also even, look at this. You can tilt back to get things out of your way, okay? And don't be afraid to touch the skin. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Look how pretty this is. Don't forget, color is what makes things a little more even. Because now, even though it's a smidge darker right there, it's not that same darkness. Okay, and see how my lids, everybody's totally folds over. It's just not as obvious. Now let's go with our darker shade. I'm using Philly. Same side, just a little less. I'm gonna work this on the outer lid so I can deposit all the color, and then I can turn my brush. See how now it's facing up? And we had that natural shadow over here. So when we're in the outside of the eye, fill that in. See if you like it. All right, now I'm going to teach you a musical theater trick, and then we're going to wrap up this lesson, okay? When you've highlighted, so vanilla, when you've used vanilla, sometimes putting a little chocolate next to it makes it pop even more, because remember, vanilla makes it pop out, chocolate makes it pull back. So I just gently went like this with my brush, went straight into Philly. You can see how concentrated it is. And watch, I'm gonna follow, I'm not gonna actually touch my nose, but I'm gonna follow up until I get to the eye area. And remember we had that natural shadow? At least I did, like right here. I'm going to enhance that with makeup. And then I'm gonna make sure that it's nice and soft with vanilla. And look, we've completely transformed the eye. Don't be afraid to go back in with your strawberry and get it even higher if you need to, because you can always put some vanilla right on the actual brow bone. And then you can take your chocolate and you can actually get it into the crease if you want to a little bit more. Now look how open the eye is coming this way. Isn't that so cool? All right, I'm gonna go off camera and do the other eye the exact same way, and then I'm gonna put shimmer on so you can see how you can still work with shimmer. Look how bright and beautiful this is. And imagine with like, if you do a little liner maybe on the ends, if you like that, or lots of mascara, it'll still be super bright. I want you to think the brightness is like this, and then the darkness is out, and then you've got this like lift. All right, so let's do a little shimmer before we run out of time. I'm just gonna use my finger. This is Gilded. It's really dark, but watch, we're gonna put it right in between our vanilla and our chocolate on our lid. We can go underneath with it too. Bring it up a little bit higher. Oh, and it's still so beautiful. So you don't have to give up your shimmer. Once you've restructured the eye, like you're good to go. If you try this out, let me know in the comments. I hope you found this helpful, and let me know if there's any other videos I can make for you. Love you, Cheryl. Bye.